this week's topic of Ms. Brooke Brings Awareness, the topic is bail bond surrenders. People ask us often, how does that work? Does Brooks Bonding surrender people, etc.? So Tanya and I are here to give you the tea on surrenders, okay? So first of all, we only surrender people in the event that, let's say that they're on bond with us, they go back to jail, they're not getting out, they have a ginormous bond, and they can't get out, or they have probation violations, pending charges, etc., right? And the reason that we surrender people is for their benefit only, because a lot of people don't know this, but if you're in jail and you're on bond, you're not getting jail credit, right? So if you go to plea out and you want to get time served, you could be sitting in there a year on bond, and that whole year goes by and you're not getting any jail credit, right? So we try to allow you to go ahead and surrender the bond, get your jail credit while you're in there, and then once your time is up, if you have another bond, we can make that, or we can talk about reinstating your existing bond, okay? Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people that's incarcerated, they'll call us to go off their bond so they can get their jail credit. Because if they're on bond from the charges that we bonded them out on, the jail is not recognizing them to give them good time. They're only locked up on their new charges. But if they were, if we went off the bond, they'll get credit for all the charges they're in there for, versus just the charges right here.
Right. So recently, Tanya and I had a situation where we have a client, one of our favorites. He goes to jail, and they tell us that they're going to come get him, and then they never show up. Nobody ever comes to get him. So we're assuming at that point, okay, he's going to be stuck in there. He's not going to be able to make bond. I think at that point he could have had some pending charges or something was going on. So we went ahead and surrendered that bond. However, we later found out that he was eligible to make bond, that he was wanting to make bond. What had happened is the state was filing a motion to revoke the bond, okay? But even if you're in jail, okay, you go to jail, you have a bond, he was already on bond with us. So let me back up. He was already on bond with us. Is that correct, Tanya?
Yes.
Then he got these charges. Okay, we didn't think he was gonna bond out. We went ahead and surrendered the bond, okay? Now, when we found out he was gonna be able to get out, and the state had just filed a motion and it was pending to revoke his bond, we hurried up and ran down there and tried to do the bond for him. And I think like at that point what had happened was they advised us what was going on, the state had filed a motion, we ended up wanting to strike the motion for the bond surrender. Is that what it was? Okay.
Correct.
So we struck the motion for the bond surrender so that he could get back out on original bond, and then we were making the new bond, okay? So in the meantime, in between time, the court wanted to play the system, and let me tell you how that works, okay? So they did not allow us to strike that person's bond because they wanted to see the outcome of the DA's motion to revoke the bond. Well, they're not supposed to do that, for one. So that was completely unconstitutional. So what I did is hired my own lawyer, my own attorney, to go up there and say, on behalf of the bonding company is wanting to strike of the motion. How many times do you think Joe went up there to try to strike that motion? 6 times our attorney went up there to strike the motion, and they kept skating him. They kept telling him, oh, we're just gonna wait to hear the DA's motion to revoke the bond. And he's like, listen, they have a constitutional right to be able to get back out on this bond that they're originally owned. The bonding company wants to stay on the bond. The bonding company wants to strike this motion. But they were playing the system, not allowing us to do our job, and in turn, having our client stuck in jail. So then our client hired their own attorney. Really good attorney, by the way. The attorney goes in there, explains to the judge what's going on. Listen, the bonding company wants to strike the motion. This has nothing to do with what the state's motion is to revoke the bond. They're saying they're willing to stay on the bond. They're willing to monitor him while he's on the bond. Again, they're skating. Keep putting the court date off, keep putting the court date off. So what does this client need to do, Tanya, whenever he does get out? Because they've essentially infringed on his constitutional rights. Would you agree?
I believe so, because he had the right to be free and they took it away from him.
Yeah. I think he needs to call an attorney that handles with those types of things. I think he needs to file a complaint. I think that he needs to definitely get the attention of the powers that be by any means necessary. with legal ramifications. Go ahead.
We used to all be on the same page as far as you all make sure they're safe, make sure they do their time, and make sure they eat, make sure they get medical care, and when they come released, we all used to be able to work together. It's so divided. You know, it's almost like sending your kids to school and being against the teachers, and it's like pulling teeth now. And it's not supposed to be like that. I shouldn't have to get aggressive to make you do your job, or to make you take that extra step to ensure that my client, now the people that we represent, are we finna go on 10? We don't give a fuck about no friendship, nothing.
We go to war for our
we going to motherfucking war.
Absolutely.
If you don't know your motherfucking job, I'm gonna teach you. She gonna teach you. Everybody's gonna get their feelings hurt, but our people get out.
That's right. So in other words, we're gonna put our foot on their neck.
On their motherfucking neck.
And she's gonna use her good knee for that.
Oh my good knee. You make me sick.
So what do you guys think about surrenders and people being held in jail against their constitutional right when we are trying to get them out just to escape the system? What do y'all think about that? Let's talk about it.